Howdy folks, it's Tall Turtle here. Welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator, and today we're going to check out a detailed San Francisco VFR. And I know we were in San Francisco fairly recently. I can't remember why we were here, but we were here, and then we did a mini-series where we ended up flying the coast, the Pacific coast along 101 up to Canada. No, not up to Canada, up to the border of California and something else. I don't remember. It was a couple months ago. You probably all remember better than I do. So we have been here recently, but we're here for a different reason today. I wanted to see how detailed and accurate San Francisco is in the sim. And the reason for this flight, the thing that inspired it, is I was recently in San Francisco in real life. I guess by the time you watch this, about a month ago, with my kid. And those of you who know the channel might be thinking to yourself, but I thought Turtle can't travel. And generally that is true. I have a genetic condition which affects my heart, which affects all kinds of things in my body, which makes literally leaving the house incredibly difficult. But I did it. I was forced to. I had no choice. I had to get to San Francisco. So I made it. Barely. I almost ended up in a hospital instead of the airplane coming home. So it was very, very dicey, but I made it. And I'm still recovering. Well, not as I record this, I'm still recovering. I'm not still recovering when you watch this. But anyway, it was supposed to be an in and out trip. I was supposed to go there. We were going to do a thing and then come home. In fact, we were not even going to get to San Francisco. We were going to stay over in the Oakland suburbs. But that's not what happened. What ended up happening is the thing fell through that we were going to do. It was a medical thing. Don't worry about it. Nothing illegal or anything. So we ended up hanging out in San Francisco for 2.5 days, and it was probably the most amazing vacation, if you want to call it that my kid and I have ever had in our lives. And it wasn't even supposed to be a vacation. We weren't even supposed to get to San Francisco. It was amazing. It was crazy. But at the same time, there's a bunch of emotional stuff. So, very strange 72 hours. But we made it, and I'm like, you know what? I want to see what this looks like in the flight sim. So I just want to see what it looks like as it sits in the sim. And I'll be pointing out a bunch of landmarks and things. And I already knew a lot about San Francisco before I'd even gone, because I used to be obsessed with it as a kid and a teenager. But to actually be there was amazing. So I'm going to talk about not necessarily my trip personally, because who cares about that, right? I'm going to talk about the city and things there and everything. And the weather when I was there was amazing. It was between 58 and 60 degrees Fahrenheit. No rain, not a cloud in the sky. Incredibly windy, but other than that, it could have been more perfect weather. And then with the redwood trees, it was like being in northern Minnesota, but with Pacific Coast weather. It was very strange on the rain. The reason I bring up the weather is we have real live weather turned on right now, just after sunrise, and it looks hazy and cloudy, and definitely not the weather that I had. Our weather was perfect. Probably the best weather they've had all year so far. So we'll keep live weather on for now unless I can't see anything, which will probably be the case because there's some hills here we're going to go into and it's already covered. So maybe I will turn off weather once we're in the air. Anyway, we're not actually starting San Francisco. You can see San Francisco Airport right there, way up there. I just wanted to start here because there are these reservoirs along these hills, or mountains I guess they call them. And I want to see what they look like in the sim, because we flew over them in the airplane when we arrived. And it was incredible. So when we arrived here in real life, we flew out over the ocean and then came down here over these reservoirs. We're going to check out, and then over the bay, and then landed, just like that airplane's doing right now. When we departed, we took off on runway 1. I think it's runway 1. We landed on the 28 pair. So, which like that one's doing. But then we took off somewhere else. We went straight across Oakland. So yeah, that's the path we took, in case you were curious. Flew over Sacramento. Flew over Wyoming. So we went over the Rockies coming home, but we were between Denver and Montana, so we didn't really see many Rockies. I got to see Mount Rushmore from the air, though. It's from 32,000 feet at night. That was cool. Anywho, alrighty, so that's what we're doing. That's what this flight is all about. So let's hop inside. We're going to take the icon so we can land in the water when we're done, so we don't have to fly back to an airport when we're done. I just thought it'd be easier than flying back somewhere. Although we could go to Oakland across the street, but that's okay. Alrighty. What are we doing? I don't have my checklist out for this because there really isn't much reason to have a checklist on this tiny little sport aircraft. So we should be good to go just with that. Yeah, nope. Did I forget the fuel somewhere? Oh, it's up here, isn't it? That's right, it's up there. Okay, I knew there was fuel somewhere. Alrighty. There you go. Wow, that's loud. Okay, let's turn that down so we don't have bleeding in the microphone. Alrighty, we can do a map. We can do 3D vision. Let's go back to the map. So, we're in San Carlos, I believe. And we're going to fly over here along the reservoirs. And then we're going to fly up here to San Francisco. I'm going to talk about all the stuff that I can remember anyway. I don't have notes or anything for this video. I just going to talk about San Francisco. We'll fly over the Golden Gate, fly over Alcatraz, Treasure Island, Yerba Buena Island, is that what it's called? I think Yerba Buena, I think. And then this is Oakland here. Then we'll fly to Oakland suburbs because we actually stayed in a hotel out here by this water, kind of. So we actually had to drive this. It was an hour. In traffic, it was only an hour and 20 minutes, believe it or not. Downtown traffic, rush hour, cross the Bay Bridge, drive through Oakland in rush hour, come through the mountains down here, and stay there. It was only an hour and 20-minute drive in rush hour. Easy peasy. That's not much worse than Minneapolis. A little worse than Minneapolis, but not much. And the driving there, oh my gosh. I love driving San Francisco. These people, they drive slowly. Nobody tailgates. Nobody really speeds. People only honk if it's a true emergency. If you have to change 5 lanes in downtown rush hour, they let you. Like, it was in the freeways, like 6-7 lane freeways. If you got to get over 4 lanes, they just let you over. It was crazy. I'm like, this can't be happening. This is the nicest, most chill driving I've done in the city probably since I was a teenager. So I loved driving in San Francisco. It was incredible. Incredible. Should we get an ATIS? Should we do this the right way today? Let's get an ATIS, see what's going on.
San Carlos Airport information, Echo 160 Zulu. Wind calm. Visibility 10 in heavy rain. Sky condition, ceiling 1,600 feet broken. Temperature 8. Dew point 10. Altimeter 29.80. Visual runway 12 in use. Landing and departing runway 12. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact you have Echo.
So we have Echo. Are they really landing and taking off on 12? Okay, whatever. Let's see here. To the north. I had to think about where I was. We're going to go to the north.
San Carlos ground Turtle Soup Tango 41 with Foxtrot request taxi to the active departure to the north.
Turtle Soup Tango 41 taxi to and hold short of runway 12 using taxiway Mike Lima Bravo. Contact tower on 119.0 when ready.
Taxiing hold short runway 12 using taxiway Mike Lima Bravo Turtle Soup Tango 41.
Alrighty, so in this area of the bay, the wind must be different because looking at San Francisco, they're landing opposite. We'll be taking off here, but that's okay. Heavy rains, it says. We'll see. So like I said, we might have to clear up the clouds just so we can see things because you can see the mountain tops or hilltops are in the clouds. They do call all these mountains here. Whoa, let's make that corner. There we go. They do call these mountains. I mean, they're tall, tallish. Twin Peaks, which we went up to, is 992 feet. So, I mean, a lot of the skyscrapers are taller than that. So I guess I would just call them big hills. I mean, we have hills in Duluth, Minnesota that were about the same as some of these mountains. So, I don't know. Whatever. They're officially called mountains, but I think they're just big hills. Alrighty, we almost blew through the stop sign here. Twin Tower and clearance.
San Carlos Tower Turtle Soup Tango 41 at runway 12 ready for departure to the north.
Turtle Soup Tango 41 wind calm north departure approved. Cleared for takeoff runway 12.
Cleared for takeoff runway 12 Turtle Soup Tango 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 41.
Alrighty, here we go. Let's do 3D vision for a minute so we can see what's going on. So we're heading kind of south-southwest, or south-southeast, I guess. But we'll immediately turn around and we'll check out those reservoirs at the bottom of the hills. There we go. Brakes to stop the wheels. Gear coming up. Looking out over the bay towards San Jose, which is more like down there. And what are my presets?
Tango 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 41. Continue for north departure.
Do I need to acknowledge that? I do.
San Carlos Tower Turtle Soup Tango 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 41. Continue for north departure.
Flaps up. Yeah, there's already a bunch of clouds and things here, so we'll see. We'll see what we need to do, because what are we at? We're at 700 feet only, and we need to get to about 1,000 feet to do this. Anyway, so let's just head this way casually towards the reservoirs. Now, what's interesting about this whole area, which I didn't totally realize about San Francisco until I was there, was, or is, it's kind of like rolling hills everywhere, right? So normally what you think of a city on water is the city starts at water level or sea level, and then it might slowly rise towards the middle and then back down to the water again if it's a peninsula like San Francisco. But San Francisco goes up and down and up and down and up and down. So if you remember to talk about it, you've got, water level, and then it immediately rises, and downtown is like on its own hill, and then it comes down again, and then it goes up a hill again, and then down, and then up a really big hill, and then down, then up a little bit, and then down. So it's like rolling hills or rolling mountains, but they built a grid system as though it's flat, right? So there's no like switchbacks or anything. So that was interesting. So to be like at a park west of downtown, and you actually look up to downtown, even though it's closer to the water, was really trippy. It was really trippy. But that's why they have their steep hills, right? Because it goes up and down, up and down. And some of those are pretty steep. I mean, I've lived in Duluth, Minnesota, which has some very, very, very steep hills. And that's where the auto hold feature and new cars comes into play. Because even the automatic transmission, you can roll backwards. So, but most people don't have that. But there were a few hills in San Francisco that I was like, whoa, but generally it didn't bother me. Freaked out my kid. He did not want to go on the drive on the hills, but we had to get to some places. And you start out like, yeah, this is steep, but no big deal. And then the next block gets steeper, and then the next block, when you step on the gas pedal and the motor makes the car torque back a little bit, you feel like you're going to roll over backwards. Of course, nobody ever does, but it feels like it. And then you freak out a little bit, and then you acclimate to it. Downhill is easy. There's no issue downhill. It's just going uphill. It was kind of freaky in a couple of situations, but other than that, it's not a huge deal. It was fun. Alrighty, so we're going to stay about here. Are we leveled off? We're still climbing. Oh yeah, that's right. This doesn't have a VSI. You have to come over here to get your VSI.
Tango 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 41. Leaving my airspace frequency change approved.
Oh, there's no VSI over here.
San
I just
Carlos
know we're
Tower
climbing.
Turtle Soup Tango Tango Tango
Oh no, here's your
41
VSI right
frequency
here.
change.
Basically, that purple line is your VSI. Okay. I don't see one here, right? RPM altitude. Nope. I mean, there's the angle of attack, but we're not worried about that right now. Alright, so we got kind of high. We're, what, almost 3,000 feet up. So we'll come down here. But anyway, these are the reservoirs I wanted to talk about. I would like to use the drone view. But then I gotta see so I can control the plane. Okay, there we go. So we got these reservoirs, and there's all these trails, like cycling trails, hiking trails, all kinds of stuff in there. And I really wish we had time to check that out. And it goes all the way, it goes along. There's the 101 and the 280 and all that stuff. Some famous highways. There's the ocean out there. But no, we didn't have time, obviously. But if I go back, I want to make a point to check out this area because it's really pretty. It was really, really cool. I thought it was really awesome. So I wanted to start here to check that out. And I think we'll come down a little bit in altitude, but I think we're going to have to get rid of these clouds. Because you can't do a deep dive VFR in the clouds. But you can see how the hills roll here, right? From the air it doesn't look as big of a deal. But when you're driving along, like, it's pretty significant. The way these hills roll, you know, up and down and up and down and up and down. And no switchbacks. You just go up and down. It's pretty crazy. Alright, let's keep our speed up, though. I just want to come down in altitude here. So we'll point down. We'll trim down a little bit. And then don't worry, we'll get to San Francisco because we're going... Yeah, we're doing a little more than speed of traffic. So it's a little bit of a drive. So I will say we started our trip. We drove from the airport and we drove into San Francisco, but we didn't take the highways. I didn't want to. So we ended up on Mission Street, which those of you who know the area know that Mission Street is one of the rougher areas. But it didn't bother me. There weren't bars on the windows or anything. So I'm like, that's fine. Plus my kid looks pretty street, so people weren't going to bother us. I just wanted some good food. So we went down Mission and parked the car at a meter and just started walking. And, I mean, there were a couple cops there that knew we were from out of town and they were watching us. A couple people had their eye on us, but for the most part, it wasn't terrible. I mean, I didn't feel any less safe than parts of Minneapolis, but I could tell it was a rough area, which means generally really good food. So we're walking, and all of a sudden, bam, found this Mexican place. Didn't even speak Spanish. Menu was completely in Spanish. It was great. It was definitely the best Mexican food I've ever had in my life. I have been in Mexico, but it's completely Americanized. But this was authentic. Best ever. It was amazing. My kid even liked it, and he's super picky. But again, we knew we were in a rough area, so we didn't waste time or anything. Why is this sim doing this? So we didn't waste time or anything, but yeah. So anyway, that's where we started. And Mission Street. So there's the airport, obviously, where we flew in. We landed on the 28 pair, Terminal 1, which is over here. Took the tram to the car rental, which is over here. And then drove off and went to Mission, which is just on the side of this hill, I think. Yeah, you drive around this hill, and then Mission is right there. So kind of like south of downtown, one of the south neighborhoods of San Francisco. And then from there we headed into town, and that's where I'll start talking about, well, the landmarks and things. So anyway, these reservoirs are really beautiful. It looks just like this in real life. Like, this is exactly how it looks. Like, if I took a picture of this and compared it, well, if I cleared up the rain and took a picture and compared it to my own pictures from the airplane, you probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference, other than it wouldn't be sitting in the front to my own pictures. But yeah, this is exactly what it looks like. Exactly. This is crazy. I feel like I'm there again. Well, let's not climb. Let's stay down. So anywho, let's see here. Is that the second reservoir? I think, yeah. Then the reservoir stops here. There's the ocean right here. And then Golden Gate is up there. We won't see the Golden Gate till we get there. I don't even know how it's modeled in here, which is another reason I wanted to do this VFR trip deep dive, because it's not like a self-indulgent thing because I've been here, although that helps. But I'm here just to see what it looks like in the sim. I'm very, very curious. Oh, this thing here on the side of the hill, let's see if it's printed here. Let's see if it's actually there. Let's see if it actually says something. So in this hill, it says South San Francisco World of Industry or something. I'll try to find my photo of it from the car rental place at the airport, and I'll insert it right now if I can find it. If there's nothing inserted, then I couldn't find my own picture of it, because my kid had a lot of pictures too. Oh, let's see if that's really Twin Peaks. Anywho, yeah, it says like, yeah, right here. It says like South San Francisco City of Industry. I don't know why I thought it was that. It's right here. You can see this from the car rental place, because the car rental place is right. I can see from the airplane. You take the tram to the car rental place right here. See, this is the tram line. car rental, and then you're on your way. Yeah, South San Francisco. It is going to show up in here. Anyway, so yeah, the only weird thing about driving was when I was leaving the car rental place, some idiot was honking at me. There was no turn on red signs everywhere, and he's honking at me to go. I'm like, dude, stop. So then at the next light, I stared him down, like, you're not messing with me, dude. And he sheepishly wouldn't look at me because he probably realized how stupid he was. He's clearly from like Chicago or something. He just had that attitude, maybe even New York, I don't know. Yeah, South San Francisco, the industrial city. So there you go. That is really there in real life. Pretty cool. Alrighty, we're gonna climb this mountain. Or crawl over this mountain, whatever. And let's see what's your altitude. 1,800 feet. And then we will start talking about San Francisco stuff. There's downtown right there. In fact, let's go right over this. Are we going to clear this mountain, do you think? If we go right over it? I want to clear this, and then I'll show you where the Mission Street goes from downtown all the way out to the southern neighborhoods. But people notice like the rough area. Like we're talking to somebody, told them we got food. They're like, "Oh, sounds like you were down on Mission." I'm like, everybody knows it. He's like, everybody knows Mission. I'm like, okay. He's like, I can't believe you guys did that. I'm like, who cares? I'm like we got some bad crap in Minneapolis, man. This Mission Street doesn't scare me. There were not bars on the windows. That's how I judge how bad it is. Anyway, we did see some bars on windows though later. All right, look at that. These places are really there. They look less dystopian in real life. But this is what it looks like in real life. Like, this is exactly what it looks like in real life. This is insane. But I think we can keep the weather the way it is, actually. Alright, cool. Alrighty, so we're heading up in the Mission area. Let's see here. I don't know which road is Mission. I'm not going to try too hard to find it. Other than they have amazing food. The Mexican place is next to a Honduras place. Alrighty, there is a bridge back there, but it's nondescript. It's long, but it's nondescript. Alrighty, let's head over here to Twin Peaks, which is by this tower. That's how it's easy to find. And then we'll do some active pause at Twin Peaks. I'll point some things out. And then we'll fly around more. And then I'll talk about a bunch of stuff. And yeah, this is exactly to a T what it looks like. All the houses are touching. They're not connected officially, but they're all touching. And they can like stick a business card between houses. And then they have these long houses that are touching, and then long skinny backyards. Every single one of them, no matter where you are. No matter where you are, that's how they all are. And yeah, we'll just talk about some neighborhoods and things that I found and learned about. And let's get to Twin Peaks. So Twin Peaks is funny because there's actually like 6 peaks, but there's 2 that you can walk up, and they call them Twin Peaks, just like the TV show, if you remember. Maybe you don't remember, I don't know. But there's a soap opera thing called Twin Peaks. And when you're on the Twin Peaks, these 2 hills on top of, they're little hills on top of mountains. And yeah, I can't tell you what they look like because my video gets suppressed. But if you're there, you'll see it. It's funny. In fact, I'll insert a picture of the Twin Peaks right here. And anyway, they're little hills on top of the mountain, but there's like 5 of them. So, but anyway, you can tell where you are when you're on them because of this radio tower. This radio tower is literally at Twin Peaks. So I'm going to pause, do an active pause right here, which is fine because the server's having a hard time sending me stuff. Oh, there's the Golden Gate too. Look at that. That's insane. All right, let's active pause right here. There we go. Let's hop outside. And I'm going to show you some stuff. So this is where it gets kind of funny because it's less about flying and more about sightseeing. So anyway, let's start at Twin Peaks and we'll work our way around. So there's these Twin Peaks right here, which do not have trees on them. This is one, that's the other, okay? So there's Twin Peaks. See, like this looks like 2 little mountains. They're hills on top of mountains, right? But then there's like a whole bunch of them over here. So when you're looking at this area from afar, it just looks like 5 hills. But really, it's these 2 right here, Twin Peaks. And you can tell where they are because of this tower right here, which is, that's exactly what it looks like. Exactly. And then this neighborhood right here is in a bowl or a basin. It's hard to tell from this angle, but these houses go straight down. So every single house has a view of the ocean going down like this. So these are staged way below each other, like seating in a movie theater, although you can't tell from here. And then it's the bottom of the hill, and then it levels out, and then it goes down the hill more. Okay. This is Golden Gate Park. And while we're looking this way, this is the most hipster neighborhood I've ever been to in my entire life. We went over here along Golden Gate Park. There's this really cool soccer stadium here. And we went to 10th and went up just to look around. And 10th is about here, wasn't that hilly. And oh my goodness, this is hipster of hipster of hipster. So when you think of all the San Francisco pride stuff, whatever you think of San Francisco, like, yeah, this is it. This is where it must happen, because this is the most hipster of hipster of hipster I've ever experienced in my life. Then Golden Gate Park is really cool, but it's bad crime. So these are also the safest neighborhoods. Like if you look at a crime map, there's like zero crime here, zero in air quotes. There's like no crime anywhere here. But then the park is really bad, and then there's like no crime here again. Because, you know, parks, you know, that's where a lot of like crime happens, right? Let's see here. Okay, let's not get too far ahead of myself. So Twin Peaks. Actually, these roads are closed. We actually parked here and started walking. And guys like, no, 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 drive around. So we actually drove around. And you can drive up here, and you can park here, and you can park here at the bathrooms. And this is a radio station thing or whatever, communication building. But this is all closed though, so you have to drive around. I'm not sure why that's closed. But anyway, so there's Twin Peaks, and then Market Street, very famous. You know the cable cars? You think of San Francisco cable cars. This is the cable car line, or trolley, cable car, whatever you want to call it. I didn't see any though. I guess they're still running. But right now they have the buses on the old cable car lines. So the buses have the two like electricity antennas that stick up, so they can get electricity from the cable car lines. But then as they change lanes, the antenna change lanes, like move back and forth. It's really cool to see. So anyway, this is Market Street. Steep, not super steep, but steep. And then you come up here, and it's steep. It's okay. Then right here, it's so steep that you feel like your car's going to tip backwards when you step on the gas pedal. It's insane. And then the sidewalks are stairs because they're so steep. And we saw this woman get off the bus. It was like walking up a couple blocks, and she looked like she just gave birth. She was in such rough shape, just walking up to her like house or whatever from the bus stop. It was insane. So this is incredibly steep, and then it flattens out again. It's not on a bike too, and like low speed, you're just dying. So anyway, so then you have this neighborhoods, ritzy stuff, and then so this is Mission down here. Mission Street starts here, goes along here, and it's pretty rough, but it goes all the way to the hills. So it was interesting. I didn't mind. I didn't feel uncomfortable. This park is huge. It's enormous hill full of trees. Alamo Park is up here. We'll talk about that in a minute. Golden Gate Park, I mentioned that. The super duper hipster neighborhood, I mentioned that. And then Golden Gate is up here. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about downtown. We'll go downtown. We'll talk about Alcatraz and Treasure Island and Yerba Buena and the Bay Bridge and everything, but we're going to get closer to that. So let's go back towards airplanes, since this is Flight Simulator. Hop back inside, and let's head towards Alamo Park, because there's something there I want to talk about. Yeah, so we've got Golden Gate Park, the Panhandle, and Alamo. Yeah, the Grateful Dead, famous houses around here by this park out here. I didn't go there because I don't really care, but there's this park here. And all these parks, by the way, have little off-leash dog areas, which is interesting. Not the off-leash dog area. They're not fenced in, I should say. So you have these dog parks within these parks, or these dog areas within these parks that are off-leash but no fences and stuff. So that's kind of interesting. So anyway, Buena Vista Park is this huge one. These are all redwood trees, by the way. These aren't the ones that are big enough to drive through like in Northern California, but they're huge. They're huge trees. I did not know redwoods came down this far. There's a Golden Gate Bridge, Golden Gate Park. And then, I don't know why the server's having a hard time sending me stuff. Anyway, I want to stop here. I lost where I was going already. No, Alamo Park. It's underneath us. Don't talk about downtown. So let's active pause again. Here we go. Hop outside. Alamo Park. Extremely famous park. It is really freaking cool too. Let's get below the clouds here if we can. So Alamo Park has some famous stuff to it. I'm very glad I got to go there. First of all, we drove around and around and around, and I got the last parallel parking spot, which was probably 6 inches bigger than the car we had as a rental. We had a rental SUV, but I fit. I just zoomed in, parked it, and my kid freaked out. He's like, "How did you learn to do that?" I'm like, "Well, I've been parallel parking for 30 years, so yep, it was fun. I liked it. It was fun to show him. Steep hills, you can see the hills here, very steep. Steps to get into the park. This hill here is kind of like reminding me of Central Park in New York. People, this is the big area, so there aren't this many trees here. The trees are all over here. They're all redwood trees. Here's the off-leash dog area. They have a coffee truck thing, kids park, whatever. And this is a hill that's open, and people hang out there. It was completely packed on like a Friday afternoon or something. Friday early afternoon, completely packed of people just hanging out, picnics, whatever. These are the 7 painted ladies right here. You can Google it. There are 7 houses in a very specific style, painted a certain way. They're not painted the same way anymore, but one of them, I think this one right here, has a museum on the top floor you can go into, but this is very famous. This was in the intro to Full House, the TV show Full House, in Fuller House too. Those of you who are, well, maybe around the world you know that show, Fuller House and Full House. These are in the intro. The actual Full house that they use as the facade is over here in Broderick. We actually drove there and stopped and took a picture. There's a sign saying private residence, please be quiet, because I guess they get 9 people an hour stopping to take pictures against the front door, so they put a gate up. I'll actually put a picture of that if I can find it. They put a gate up in the sign because they're sick of people going up to their front door. But even now, 9 people an hour every day. An hour, 9 people. That's like 90 to 100 people a day stop to take pictures at the Full House house. Of course, they didn't film in it. It was just used for the facade, right? But these are the 7 painted ladies, extremely famous. There were so many people from Italy and Europe hanging out, taking pictures of these houses. So even people in Europe know what these are, and they came over to take pictures. It was incredible. The funny thing though, we got there, and there's bathrooms up here, right? But we got there, and there's like a bathroom here with no door. So we thought it was only bathrooms. So like men and women were both in there, like going to the bathroom. There's like a stall door, but it wasn't. It was broken that day. Like it wouldn't close, so people are going to the bathroom with like their friends standing in front of the door so you couldn't see. It was really funny. We're like, there's a lot of tourists, a lot of locals, but a lot of tourists. We didn't know what was going on. We had to go to the bathroom. We didn't know there were bathrooms up here for normal people. But anyway, Alamo Park, super famous. Broderick Street, super famous. This area here, I guess, used to be the like really bad area long time ago, and now it's one of the most upscale areas, I guess. That's what I read. But take that for what you will. Traffic. Going through Golden Gate Park and down this park area, see how it's all trees, was horrible. And that's funny for me to say that because Minneapolis traffic is actually horrendous. People don't realize it until they get here. But Minneapolis traffic is horrible. This was a little worse than Minneapolis traffic, getting through the park, because this is the only way to the Golden Gate Bridge. There are only 2 ways to Golden Gate Bridge. You come through the park here, and you sit here, and then you come down here, all over here, come down through the park, and then you loop around and get back on the bridge. Or you come through downtown on 101 and get to the bridge. So if you're coming across the Bay Bridge, it's not highway to the Golden Gate. You get off the highway, and you got to go through downtown traffic. It's Highway 101, but it's downtown traffic. And then you come up here, and then it's finally highway again to the Golden Gate Bridge. So this isn't like a throughway interstate. I thought it was. So I felt kind of dumb not realizing that. But yeah, so this is 101. But it's not a through interstate where you can get all the way from here to here without stopping. I mean, once you're off this bridge, it's stop and go for like an hour, 45 minutes. And then boom, it's open again once you get out of town. So that surprised me. I didn't realize that's how that was. Anyway, I think it's the 101. Let me just double check over here on the map. I'm pretty sure it's the 101. Yes, 101. Alrighty, so now let's head into downtown on active pause. Right? No. How do we do that? There we go. And we'll head into downtown. And then we'll see how accurate some of the stuff is. And don't worry, we'll look at Lombard Street. Very famous street. I want to know what it looks like in the sim. If I can find it, I should be able to find it. So again, okay, look how this is on a hill, right? Let me active pause quickly. So check this out. This is what threw me off. So I just assumed, you know, water level, steep hill, and that's not how you do this. Steep hill, why can't I turn? Steep hill going up to Twin Peaks, and then steep hill down, right? I thought it was just one long hill. It isn't. You've got a steep hill going into downtown, and then it drops. See this? It goes up. So downtown is on a hill, and then it comes down again. See this? And then it goes up again. See this? And then it drops again. See? And then it goes up again, and then it drops again, and then it goes up again, and then drops again. See, it's rolling hills. Like when you're at this Alamo Park right here, you actually look down into this basin, then all these apartments and things here are all uphill. So when you're at this park, you are actually looking at the ground floor. So this is on a hill, right? And you look across a basin and all these apartments, you're looking at the ground floor straight across, and they're like 20 stories tall. It's really crazy. Like looking at these are all on a steep hill. You can see it. Go up, steep hill, come down, steep hill. Go up to downtown, and then down to the water. Except Market Street is more... Where's Market Street? Right here? Market Street is a little more gradual. It goes up and then gets really steep. But it was just really interesting. I just did not expect to see that type of topography. So I learned something. As much as I thought I knew about San Francisco, I learned something. There's a Transamerican Pyramid, which is a building I was obsessed with as a child. I don't know why. And then some of the other buildings actually aren't here. So I was thinking this is going to be... I mean, it says it's a 3D scanned city. So a lot of the buildings are accurate, but there's some buildings I'm looking for that aren't accurate, actually. So let's stop here. And let's look outside again. Man, it's easy to get around in an airplane, isn't it? So here's your San Francisco. Let me find a selfie of some sort here for a thumbnail, which I'm not going to get my thumbnail the way I wanted it. I guess we can just kind of, I don't know, we'll try to get something. Transamerican Pyramid, you know, obviously that's a super famous building, but there's another new one here that's like way taller and is not here. Are the rest of these? I mean, they're supposed to be a scanned city, which means it's supposed to be accurate, and a lot of this is obviously, but there's a lot missing, so I don't know when they scan the city, because there is... I might just take a thumbnail without an airplane in it. We'll see. There's some stuff missing. There should be this really tall building right here somewhere. Yeah, right here. Okay, it looks like they were building it when they scanned this in. It's really, really tall. It's like way taller than that one. Okay, whatever. And there's another building I'm looking for that I don't see either. That has like twin little towers on the top. Huh, okay. These are all here. These are weird looking. The facades twist around so it looks like it's missing chunks out of it. Like it looks dystopian in real life. But it's the way it's supposed to be. Interesting. Okay. Well, anyway, that's mostly what San Francisco looks like. There you go. Pretty cool. Can you see it's a hill? You can kind of tell it's a hill. Sort of. You can see how it drops down on around the edges here. And then goes up again here, see, down and up. Lombard Street's here, we'll get there, don't worry. We'll come back for the Bay Bridge. I mean, that's exactly what the Bay Bridge looks like in real life. It's a double-decker here, and then it's split here. The double-decker thing is so crazy and long that when you're on the bottom, you can't see where it ends. It just looks like you're in this, like, open-sided tunnel forever. Yerba Buena Island, people used to live there, and then they took it over to develop it, so they built this one called Treasure Island, and most of these people moved over here into Treasure Island. And then there's one way in, one way out. Not one way in, one way out. You have to take the freeway to get in and out. There is cycling and pedestrian on this half of the bridge, but not that half of the bridge. Anyway, and then Oakland is over there. Alright, so we'll come back, talk about that. Here's Alcatraz, if you're wondering, we'll come back to that. Golden Gate, we're headed over there. So this was the downtown portion. And you can see Twin Peaks up there. So there's your radio tower. There's your Twin Peaks, which you can walk up, by the way. Incredibly windy. Alrighty, let's head to Lombard Street if I can find it from here. Lombard Street, I believe, is... I don't know, I'm going to have to find it. I'm going to have to fly over here. Lombard Street is the famous road with all the switchbacks on it. It's like incredibly super duper duper famous. I'm sure it's going to be easy to spot, not easy to spot, but you'll see what I mean when we get over here. I think it's by this park. So you take 101 and then 101 turns, but then if you go straight, you go up a really, really steep hill. And then at the top is the famous, I mean, Lombard Street goes the length of the city, but the famous part is over here somewhere. There it is. I see it. You see it right here in the middle? All the switchbacks. Let me see what it looks like in the sim. Anyway, so this is, you come off the bridge 101, you come down here, and then you turn to stay on 101, or you come up this really, really, really steep hill, and then you come down the one-way area with all the twisty, turny switchbacks, except there aren't that many trees. But anyway, you get it, right? You recognize this? Super famous road. They get 2 million people a year driving down this road. It says keep clear because these people don't have to stop. So you come up this incredibly, insanely steep road, and people actually park sideways up here. And then you are trying to go, but then people are clogging this up to take pictures and get their video started. And then you end up getting stuck with traffic trying to get through, so you gotta wait. And then there's like a line to get down this road. And it's steep. It didn't scare me. It's not that bad. Like, driving down the steepness is no big deal. It's going up that makes you worry a little. But then people are just hanging on their steps, laughing, watching everybody with their phones out the windows. But 2 million people a year go down this road, and it's really steep. You can't, if you take like a Chevy Suburban, you are not steep, it's tight. You probably couldn't get a Suburban down here. I mean, maybe, but I wouldn't take anything bigger than like a Traverse or mid-size. Like, I don't know. I don't even know if I take a 3-row SUV down here. And you cannot go up it. It's one way going down. So that car would get in big trouble right now. And you can't go that fast because it's super tight. So that car would have been in big trouble. Oh, Voodoo Lounge is at the bottom of the hill going the other way, by the way. Alrighty, let's see here. Hop in. There's Alcatraz, obviously. We didn't see any cruise ships when we were there, but they are there. To pay the tolls on the Bay Bridge and the Golden Gate Bridge, you either have Fast Pass, which is like an account online, and you have a little sensor in your window, or like we did, they just read your license plate and bill you. So I had to rent a car. They'll bill the rental place. Either they absorb the cost or they'll charge us. It wasn't on my invoice. This is Angel Island, by the way. So here's Alcatraz. We'll come around here and look out the other window. My kid, when we spotted Alcatraz from the bridge, just freaked out. He was so excited. He was so excited to see Alcatraz from the bridge. It's very obvious. As small as it is, it's very obvious to see. It's easy to see. But there's Alcatraz. And then, here's the Golden Gate Bridge, obviously. You can read about how it's built. It's really cool. My kid was astonished to find out that the big cable here actually holds up the bridge. I'm like, it literally is suspended from this cable. You can see the hangers, you know, if you've ever seen the suspension bridge at this scale. You can see the huge hangers that loop around the cable and then they screw into the bottom. And each cable has the big cable is made out of 27,000 regular cables each. Pretty crazy, huh? So we'll talk about the park over here. Which we didn't get to spend as much time at as I wanted to, but that's because of my health. So here we go. Let's active pause one more time. So here you can see the hill. Look. See? It goes up this hill, which is way more dramatic in real life. So downtown is on a hill. See that? Then it comes down, then it goes up, then it comes down, and it goes up and down as it goes up to Twin Peaks, which is, this is only one Twin Peak. That's not both of them. That's the other one's behind that one. And then it goes down and up and down, hipster neighborhood. So there you go. There is San Francisco. Can I get San Francisco from here maybe for a picture? Let me see. Will this work? I'm just trying to get some kind of a... No, I don't know. There's a big bridge in the background though. That's pretty cool. Trying to get something. Something to show people. Well, Alcatraz was in that one. Anyway. So yeah, that's what it looks like. It's pretty crazy. Like, this is literally what it looks like in real life when you fly in an airplane and go over to the ocean and come back to land. It's ridiculous how real this sim is. It's insane. So anyway, so again, to pay the tolls, you don't stop. In fact, it keeps saying, do not stop, do not stop, do not stop. And you just drive through and your toll gets paid. Only toll into the city. So you don't pay a toll leaving. So anyway, these things, this is where the cables come down and they anchor underground. Same with that one. The cables go into there, anchor underground. You can read all about it. It's crazy because I think these stand 700 some feet tall, but they don't look like it because you're in this vast bay, which is way bigger than it looks like. So you're in this vast bay, so you don't realize how tall these things are. Like, they're as tall as our tallest buildings in Minneapolis, but they don't look like it because there's not much to compare it to. And when you're on them, you're like a third of the way up, so that changes things a little bit. But this park is so cool. There's an awesome tunnel here. So we didn't go north of here. So what we did is I wanted to see this. I knew it was hilly, but I thought it was flatter than this. So this was pretty dramatic for me to see. Oh yeah, there's this awesome lookout museum thing here, but I couldn't walk up there because of my heart. I couldn't do it. So we stopped. We couldn't get up here. I couldn't make it, which was a bummer because I didn't get this amazing view of the bridge. So I was unable to do that, which is a huge bummer, but that's okay. So you drive down here, you take this really amazing single lane tunnel through here, which is really cool. And then there's tons of things you can do in this park. Let me get some altitude here. Tons of things. You could spend a day or more. I mean, there's campgrounds here. You could spend a couple days here. Hiking, right? You can go down to the dangerous rocky beaches. I mean, there's sand, but it's cliff beaches, which I wanted to do. But again, because of my heart, I probably would have had a heart attack. Or not a heart attack, I probably would have fainted and fell and died. So these roads are amazing. Like, it's not like the Rocky Mountains where you're driving on a cliff, but it's close. My kid was pretty scared. He was not comfortable in this area because it's way more dramatic to be there than it looks right now. But it's very hilly, very steep, a lot of valleys. The roads go up to the edge. It was really amazing. I was very, very pleased. This was the first thing we did when we got there after the Mission Street lunch. We drove over here because I just wanted to take my kid. He was impressed. He's like, I never thought it'd be that exciting to be on that bridge, Dad. But he's been telling people about it nonstop. He's 16, and he's talking about like he's 12, like so giddy about it. It's so fun. He's so happy about crossing the Golden Gate Bridge. He couldn't believe he did it. So anyway, there's these really rocky beaches or steep cliff beaches, like black sand, black rocks. I think it's called Black Beach or Black Sands Beach or something. And you can hike down there and you can go swimming. In fact, it used to be unofficial nude beaches a long time ago until they cracked down on it because it's so secluded and very few people have the health to get down here and back up. I wanted to go down here. There's like all these really cool things down here, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't. If I did it, I would not make it back up. So there's a few lookout things you can stop at, which we did. And I'll insert a picture of one of the lookouts now, from like right here, I think, or this one right here. There's that picture I just showed you is from here, and then the next cool one we couldn't get to, couldn't do it, couldn't get up there. So anyway, there's Golden Gate. We did not go this far north. We did in the sim recently, but I didn't in real life. Alrighty, so here we go. Alcatraz, Angel Island, Bay Bridge. I told you the Bay Bridge is so cool because when you drive away from the city, you're on the lower deck. And even this little, in air quotes, little span here takes a long time, even at the speed limit. Takes a long time to get this little spot, and then it splits side by side. But it's really cool because you can't see. I don't think I have any pictures of it though, just video. Maybe I have a picture. If I do, I'll insert the picture. If nothing's inserted, I don't have a picture. But anyway, because you can't see the end of the double-decker part, because then this is all underground. It's like a tunnel here, and then it splits. And coming back into the city, you're on top, and my kid freaked out because you can't really see the railings. They're there, but you can't see them really. So it just looks like you're driving in open water. It freaked him out a little bit, which it's just fine. I would have been freaked out too. But anyway, there's San Francisco. Let's look at Alcatraz one more time. Very cool. My wife was there and Susan Child. So yeah, it was just my kid and me because we weren't going to vacation there. We were just going to do something quick and come back, health related. But we ended up taking a couple days out of it, and it was amazing. Yeah, see here you can see the hills if you kind of look. See how it goes down, up, see? And these are not tiny hills. These are like 500-foot hills, so they're steep. Maybe 400 feet, but they're steep. Steep up, steep down. See this rolling hill, the steep up, steep down thing? Look at that. Then you come here. Downtown is on a hill. It comes up, and then down. So you can see come down, goes down in there. See, it comes up here, down in there, goes down, comes back up. Like, it's crazy. It's really weird. It's because it's so steep. It's awesome, though. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, wait. Is that the tall building I'm looking for? That could have been the really tall building I was looking for. I don't think so. I thought it was closer. Let me see if it's on the map super fast. If I can find it. I can't remember what it's called, so I don't know what to look it up as. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, okay, where is it? No, that's not it. Because the one I'm looking for is not next to the Bay Bridge. No, the one I'm looking for is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's 10 blocks in from the bridge. So it'd be like right here. Yeah, that's just an apartment. So anyway, there's the Bay Bridge. We're crossing over right now. And it looks just like that, of course. And I'm in the wrong application. Where's my mouse? There we go. There's the rest of the Bay Bridge. So you can see how it goes double-decker, then it splits here. There's Treasure Island, where people from this island moved when they kicked everybody out of this island, and they built them that one. Kind of crazy how they can do that. So yeah, so double decker here, and then it splits right here underground, and then it side by side. So then you head over to Oakland. We won't talk too much about Oakland, other than traffic wasn't terrible. Even rush hour wasn't bad. We drove both times away from the city. We drove in the middle of rush hour, and it wasn't that big of a deal. But we did realize we had no water, and we hadn't gotten to the bathroom in many hours, because we didn't think we'd be in the car so long, because I wasn't sure what we were going to do, because again, it was spontaneous. So we were really thirsty and had to go to the bathroom, and we were going to get off random exits in Oakland, but every time we look, it was pretty crappy. In San Francisco, the oldest cars were not beat up or anything. They were all relatively new, even in the rough areas. Here, though, like, it was like, yeah, the houses and apartments were all awful looking, and the cars are all rusty and parked on flat tires and everything everywhere we looked. So we're like, let's not stop in Oakland. But these highway interchanges, Sacramento, by the way, is just over that hill. But yeah, these highways are like 6 lanes, 7 lanes wide, and then they give you some notice when you want to change freeways and interchanges, but you got to be on your toes. But again, if you're like, oh crap, I gotta get over 4 lanes, people let you. They won't fight you. They're like, okay, come on over. So yeah, it was amazing to drive here. I told one of my friends about it, and she's like, oh, that's because they're all tourists. I'm like, no. Driving in the middle of rush hour? No, it was not all tourists. It was 85% locals. Because why would tourists also be driving out here to the suburbs? Because this is where the hotel was, because the medical thing we did was out here in the suburbs of Oakland, in Dublin, Pleasanton. So that's where we stayed, because we were just going to fly in, drive to Pleasanton, do our thing, come home. We weren't going to do anything else. So our hotel was way out here on the other side of the mountains. So that's where we're going to head towards. I'm not going to look for a hotel or anything. I'm just going to show you some of the suburbs. But anyway, so you fly along here. This is 580, I think. Yeah, 580. So we're going to follow 580 for a little bit. And pass through the mountains again. So Sacramento, you would take this way to Sacramento, which is the capital of California. And then let me trim back a little bit. We do need to climb. We're only at 2,000 feet. Let's see. Oakland. I don't know anything about Oakland. It's much more industrial, and it wasn't as comfortable to be there as it was in San Francisco, which is over there now. Man, it's a lot faster to fly this. There's downtown Oakland, though. Much faster to fly this than it is to drive it. Let's fly like a little bit. So we're going to follow 580. And then we got actually, so yeah, taking 580, we're actually going much further south of Oakland than the airport is from San Francisco. So it was a long journey, you know, considering it only took like an hour and a half in traffic to go this far. Wasn't that big of a deal. I think no traffic, I think it was 42 minutes or something, although we never drove it without traffic. But yeah, so 580 goes through the hills here, goes to Dublin / Pleasanton, which, I mean, maybe they're not even suburbs of Oakland. Maybe they're beyond the suburbs of Oakland. But very typical suburban stuff. I felt like we were back home in Minneapolis. Like, you know, same stores and everything we have here. Well, I don't live in the suburbs of Minneapolis. I'm in Minneapolis. But when I did live in the suburbs of Minneapolis, it was just like this. The only crazy driver we saw was this dude in a Porsche something. Huge Porsche car. Driving like an idiot. Tailgating, whipping around people, blah, blah, blah. And we were watching him for a while. We were greatly amused. And then we drove like normal, nice people. And at the end of the trip, we were ahead of him. So despite, he started right behind me when he got on the highway. And despite all of his crazy driving, 23 miles later, we were ahead of him. And we didn't risk our lives or ruin our car or do anything, you know. And we ended up ahead of him where he was doing all kinds of crazy crap, risky stuff, and he didn't get anywhere. So anyway, 580 is about to turn yet. No, we got a little bit more to go here. We might cut across this hill just to save some time, because 580 makes a steep turn to the left here. San Jose, if you're wondering, is over here. 40 minutes from San Jose is where we'll end up, because I was going to meet a coworker out there for like 20 minutes or half an hour. He said it was a 40-minute drive, to give him heads up, but I ended up not able to meet up with him. I'm gonna use this water as a reference point here. Yep. So 580 comes behind this, and then we'll get to the suburbs or exurbs, or whatever you want to call it, and that's where we'll wrap up the video. I was gonna land on water. There's water there. Maybe we'll land on a reservoir. So we'll see. I don't know. But anyway, alright, something else I was going to mention about the area. These mountains or hills or whatever are really cool because it's almost like fields that are just raised up. So it's not like it's above a tree line where it can't grow trees. Although there were some very obvious like mudslide areas which are cool to see. But a lot of it is just like areas without trees, and it's really interesting to look at. I don't know if I have any pictures. If my kid took any pictures from the car, I'll insert one now, but otherwise it's just really interesting to see. Because if you're like in the Rockies and stuff, you see the tree line, right, where trees can't grow. But it's not quite like that here. It's just areas without trees. Like, yeah, you can kind of see it here, I guess. How like there's trees and no trees. So I'm thinking it's either been tons and tons and tons of mountain slides or mudslides, or there just aren't trees there, and they're like fields that are just raised up. So they do have agriculture out here on the steep hills, which is interesting. Yeah, so I don't remember it being this brown, but maybe that's just when they took the imagery. So anyway, you take 580, which you can see out here now, curving around like this. And then you come out here, and then all of a sudden it opens up to the next valley, and you can see this whole valley area, which I don't know if there's like any famous cities that anybody would recognize or anything, but it opens up to this valley. And then you have your next mountain range, which is really cool. And then you have an enormous valley before the Sierra Nevada mountains. So this valley looks huge here, but if you look at a map, it's not that big of a valley. Then you have more mountains, then you have an enormous valley, and then some real mountains. So that's kind of cool. Anyway, we're almost done. This video is almost an hour. Holy crap. That's okay, though. That's okay. I thought it was going to be 20 minutes. So there's 580 right below us. This was a really cool corridor to drive in. And then it opens up, and all of a sudden, boom! it opens to this valley. Let's get a little bit lower here because we're getting to the clouds and I can't quite see what I want to see. But we'll just enjoy the view here for a minute. Much faster to drive this than or to fly it than drive it, of course. Oh yeah, then there's these like neighborhoods on these like ridges and stuff. That is really cool to see. They don't even look like fancy houses. In fact, some of them look kind of run down from the highway, but they're there, and they must have amazing views. Alrighty, so Pleasanton, Dublin and Pleasanton. I think Dublin is here and Pleasanton is here. Our hotel was a block off the highway up here somewhere. It was the Marriott. Very nice hotel. I just thought it was an average hotel when we booked it, but it was very, very nice. But this is very suburban. Petco, Costco, all the food chains, several Targets, like super suburban. And then you got the mountains again, or a mountain range, a small range, and then even more valleys and mountains. But we stopped here, this road right here. We did not go east of this road. In fact, there's probably the hotel right there. So we'll fly here just a minute, and then are there any airports around here? I don't think there are. I'm not going to fly far to find an airport, so we might just find this body of water. I saw that on the map. What was that body of water? That was, let's see here. It is, I don't know what it is. It's a recreational area of some sort. Oh no, there's the airport. Livermore. Let's land at Livermore right there. Cool. Alrighty. So let's tell Livermore we're coming. And then we'll land there. We just have to remember to put our gear down. Since we aren't landing on water. Livermore. There we go. And tune in the ATIS.
Livermore Airport information, Kilo 1700 Zulu. Wind 197 at tree. Visibility 10. Sky condition, ceiling 1,600 feet broken. Temperature 7. Dew point 10. Altimeter 29.78. Visual runway 25 left and ILS runway 25 right in use. Landing and departing runway 25 left and runway 25 right. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact. You have Kilo.
Alright, we have Kilo.
Livermore Airport
Tuning
information,
tower here. Full stop.
Livermore Tower Turtle Soup Tango 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 41 is 6 miles west 2,100 feet with Lima to land.
Turtle Soup Tango 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 41 Livermore Tower. Altimeter 29.78 wind 197 at tree. Make left traffic runway 25 right.
Enter left downwind runway 25 right Turtle Soup Tango 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 41.
I couldn't make out the hotel where we stayed, but that's okay. It's not an exact representation, but you can see the suburban area now. Below us, like over here, like Target's right there. Savers is like right there. You know, so that's where we spent our time. I totally wasn't listening to the instructions. What did it say? It said left downwind. Okay, so we gotta cross over here and get to left downwind, 25 right, because right now we're facing the opposite way. They want left downwind, so let's go like this, right in front of departing traffic. Because they want left downwind. And so they're taking off there, they're climbing here, and they're going to run right into us and T-bone us, because this is the worst way to do this. We could have gone over midfield, but anyway. So 580 keeps going. How far does it go? I'm looking at Google Maps. It goes all the way to Stockton area, Manteca, Modesto, California. That's the next gigantic valley before the mountains. And then you get through Yosemite. Yep. Alright, cool. So you could take this road all the way to Yosemite, which I used to call Yosemite. So yeah, this road goes all the way to Yosemite National Park. You got some real mountains. And then you have the cold deserts of Nevada. And then the Rockies. Alrighty. Interesting. I didn't realize we were that close. I guess people do often fly into San Francisco to go to Yosemite. And they just drive like 2 hours or something. Never thought of it that way. Alrighty, where's this airport? There it is. Let's pay attention to what we're doing. I'm just enjoying these mountains. And then Sierra Nevadas are further along. Pretty. Such beautiful scenery they have here. Man. So 25 right has to be this one here. Just like it says. Oh, wow. Look at the wind farm. Yeah, so this highway goes all the way to Yosemite. Neat. Very neat. Alright, let's get gear down now so I don't forget about it. That'd be a bummer, huh? And there you go, San Francisco way back there. So yeah, we left San Francisco, left our hearts in San Francisco to finish this trip, but it's worth it. Alright, coming down now. We'll make a very, very sharp base and short final.
Turtle Soup Tango 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 41 wind 197 at tree. Cleared to land runway 25 right.
Cleared to land runway 25 right. Turtle Soup Tango 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 41.
Alright, you ready? And here we go. Come down nice and steep. Nice sharp banked turn. Very, very short final. First set of flaps. Come down even more. And runway should be here. There it is. Just where it's supposed to be. Very cool. Nice, easy, sporty plane to fly. Oh, this is fun. And full flap. I think there's only 2 flap in this. Maybe there's 3. I don't know. Anywho, so yeah, thank you for joining me on this very detailed San Francisco VFR flight. I thought pretty successful. I just like that I was able to talk about it in detail. I like when I can talk about something in detail and be like, oh, the map says this. Well, that's kind of boring, right? But if I'm like, no, I was just there. This is what it looks like. This is what it is. This is where we are. Then that's really fun to do. So hopefully you enjoyed it. You made it through over an hour without realizing it. So make sure you're subscribed and notifications turned on so that you know when the next videos drop. More bush trips to come. This thing does not want to land. More bush trips to come. There we go.
Turtle Soup Tango 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 41 exit runway when able.
I will. I just missed that one. Yep, more bush trips to come, so make sure you're subscribed, notifications, hit the like buttons, people know we exist. If you have any flight ideas yourself, leave them in the comments below, as long as it's like less than 90 minutes wheels up time or so. Sometimes I can do longer ones, if I can let it sit on autopilot for a couple hours, but that's pretty rare.
Tango 41 contact ground on 121.6.
I will, whoa, sorry.
121.6 Turtle Soup Tango 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 41. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Ground and parking, I guess.
Livermore ground Turtle Soup Tango 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 41 request taxi to parking.
Turtle Soup Tango 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 41 taxi to general aviation parking via taxiway Juliet.
Taxiing to general aviation parking using taxiway Juliet Turtle Soup Tango 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 41.
Alrighty. We're going to wrap this up. Super successful flight. Oh my gosh. I'm glad to be doing GA stuff. I love the Jetstar and I can't wait to get back into it. But I really just love the GA stuff most. I mean, that's what started my whole flight sim journey 20-some years ago. Everybody wanted to fly the big jets right away. I'm like, nope. I just want to fly little planes everywhere. And here we are. This is what I love to do. So I'm very happy. But don't worry, there will be more Jetstar flights. Just not for a little bit yet, because the bush trips. And there we go. Boom. Stop. Set the parking brake. Let's turn this thing off if I can remember how to do it without a checklist. You should always use a checklist no matter how well you know an airplane. You should always use a checklist. No excuses. Alrighty, I basically already did my outro, so hopefully you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Simple as that.